Hello everyone, in this video I will be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let us go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. The Iran-Israel war began when Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launched an unprovoked attack on Iran. It has now been 8 days. In the last 48 hours, a small yet beautiful video has gone viral in Israel and is being widely shared on social media. I shared it on my Twitter as well, but many Pakistanis could not grasp its context. The video shows a well-built, handsome man standing on the edge of a mountain near a river, alongside a beautiful blonde woman in a red bikini or swimsuit. The blonde woman says to him, "Let us jump it, I want to jump with you." The man seems indecisive and confused, but eventually says, "Let us do it." They reach the edge together. The woman jumps into the water while the man remains standing, visibly distressed. 5 or 10 minutes later, the woman climbs back up, soaking wet, and asks, "What happened?" The man replies, "I got confused, but let us do it now." She tells him, "I do not want to do it without you. It is no fun alone." They go to jump again. She jumps. He does not. She climbs back up again, asks, "Sweetheart, what happened?" He says, "My legs, I really want to jump with you, but when I get to the edge, my legs will not move. Push me this time." She asks, "Are you sure?" He says, Yes, I am sure." She pushes him hard, but only she falls in again. The man stays standing. It is said that Israeli citizens who have been stuck in bunkers for 8 days amid devastation feel the same about Donald Trump, that he is indecisive. I will now explain the questions troubling Donald Trump and how his problems worsened after a United States court ordered the release of Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian student from Columbia University. This ruling added to Trump's troubles. There is also the question of how General Michael Kurilla, head of CENTCOM and considered a friend to Pakistan, fits into a larger American-Israeli plan for Iran and where Pakistan fits in. I will get to that, but first, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, do it now, enable the bell icon, and join my WhatsApp channel. The link is in the pinned tweet and description. Now, what are the confusions in Trump's mind? According to Axios, a pro-Israel United States publication, Trump is considering 3 key questions during his 2-week assessment. Is a United States attack on Iran even necessary? Can Israel handle the situation alone? Sources suggest Israel could be given time and airspace to operate its own air force and commando units, or even attempt to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Is American troop involvement absolutely necessary? Would United States involvement make this a broader Middle East war? Contrary to expectations, massive anti-Israel and anti-America protests occurred in Tehran, Iraq, and Lebanon. The belief that a regime change in Iran could be triggered seems invalid, as millions marched against the United States and Israel instead of against the Iranian regime. If the United States does intervene, will it even work? Trump had previously referred to the mother of all bombs, but the bomb under consideration now is actually the massive ordnance penetrator, specifically the GBU-57, a bunker buster capable of penetrating 200 feet of concrete. Other bombs like Blue 109 or GBU-28 can only go 50 to 60 feet. The challenge is that no one knows the exact depth or structure of Iran's nuclear facilities. Some sources say 30 to 50 feet, others say 100, and some claim 250 to 300 feet beneath mountain rock. Some IAEA officials estimate facilities could be half a mile deep. Moreover, tests on the GBU-57 were never conducted in natural rock environments, only in reinforced concrete models. This raises doubts about whether it would be effective in real mountain terrain. CENTCOM's estimates suggest that 1 bomb would not be enough. A dozen or more GPS-guided bombs via B-2 bombers may be required for any success. Meanwhile, in Israel, after 8 days, 3 assumptions by Israeli leadership have been proven wrong. They thought they had decapitated Iran's military, intelligence, and scientific leadership in one strike. But Iran reorganized within 24 hours. They believed Iran's missile program was neutralized. Over 300 targets were hit using 200 Israeli aircraft, including missile and drone sites. Yet, Iran's missile capability remains intact and functional. They assumed they could persuade Trump to join the war physically. While Israel appreciates United States support through regional air bases and naval presence, the expected full military partnership has not materialized. The Iron Dome, Israel's key defense, is nearly exhausted. Iran is using fewer but more accurate missiles, with interceptors running low and being expensive. Iran's strategy now includes exhausting Israel's defenses before targeting with precision. Discrimination is visible in bunkers. Longtime Israelis are telling recent immigrants from Africa, Ukraine, India and elsewhere to leave bunkers, claiming they are for genuine Israelis only. Reports show a large exodus attempt from Israel, but due to closed airspace, people with dual citizenship are fleeing via Egypt. The irony, Palestinians trying to flee via Egypt were once blocked. But now, Israelis face similar hurdles. What is next? There is speculation that in the next 24 to 48 hours, Israel might attempt to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, believing that his death could shift Iran's firm stance on uranium enrichment. Under the 2015 deal, Iran agreed to enrich uranium to only 3.5 to 3.6%, and all inspections until 2018 confirmed compliance. After Trump withdrew from the deal in 2018, Iran increased enrichment to 60% in protest, still below the 90% weapons-grade level. Iran now demands to continue enrichment up to about 3%, asserting its right as a sovereign nation. Trump insists Iran should agree to zero enrichment. Talks with the European Union, France, Germany and the United Kingdom, and Iran's foreign minister took place in Geneva. Despite headlines like European Union-Iran talks failed, Iran made it clear they are willing to resume negotiations, but only if Israel stops its attacks. Thus, the talks have not failed. They have paused, contingent on Israel ceasing its bombardment. A BBC-related news has surfaced that the organisation has decided not to broadcast a documentary which it had itself commissioned and on which hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of pounds were spent. The documentary, titled Gaza Medics, highlights how Israeli defense forces treated medical workers, including doctors and paramedics, during the conflict. The BBC has announced in the past 24 hours that the documentary appears to be biased and anti-Israel. Therefore, it will not be shown on any BBC-related platform. British Indian author William Dalrymple, whom I've mentioned before and many of you may know, has posted scathing tweets about this. He claims this decision exposes the BBC's cowardice, lack of leadership and partisanship. Trump gave Iran a 2-week deadline, a few days of which have already passed. Sources close to Trump, particularly Steve Witkoff, have been telling him that Iran wants to resume talks. Iran has also indicated that if Israel halts its attacks, an Iranian delegation might come to Washington to meet with American officials. Previously, such meetings took place in third countries like Rome, Muscat and Oman. Iran seems willing to make this concession and come directly to Washington, mainly to satisfy Trump's ego. But Trump is also facing numerous domestic issues, making decisions increasingly difficult for him. In the last 24 hours, Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian student from Columbia University, who has repeatedly been ordered detained and held in Louisiana, has been granted release by Judge Michael Ferbius. The judge dismissed all charges brought by the State Department and Marco Rubio, which accused Khalil of violating foreign policy, concealing information during his green card process, and so on. The judge ruled these charges baseless and politically motivated, aimed at silencing Khalil and suppressing his First Amendment rights. He has ordered Khalil's release and his return to New York, where his wife and child are American citizens. This is considered a significant setback for Donald Trump, according to major American newspapers, including the New York Times. Other Palestinian students and protesters have already been released earlier, such as Mous Madavi, whom I have mentioned before. Trump is now facing unprecedented anti-Israel and anti-Zionist public opinion in America. Hundreds of public figures, though not part of mainstream legacy media, are leading this opinion shift. Among the most prominent voices are ex-TV anchor Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ron Paul. These are staunch Trump supporters, yet they are vocally critical of Israel's actions. They helped shape Trump's political narrative in past campaigns, but now they appear divided over the Israel issue. The Make America Great Again movement is visibly splintering. It is critical for Pakistanis and others to understand that terms like America, Israel, Britain and the West are inadequate to explain modern-day geopolitical conflicts. One must look at specific characters, lobbying groups and their vested political and material or economic interests. On one side, ideologically driven figures like Carlson, Bannon, Owens and Greene stand. On the other, staunch Zionists like Mark Levin, Fox News anchor, who met Trump and urged him to join the war effort for Israel. Levin wrote a long social media post accusing Trump's critics of conspiring against Israel and argued that Trump should be Trump. Other major media figures and donors like Rupert Murdoch and Miriam Adelson, a key Trump campaign donor, are also pushing for war in support of Israel. Elon Musk, although supportive at times, has taken no clear position. Writers from the New York Times, The Atlantic Monthly and others are continually working to build the case for war. Yet, this war effort is failing to gain traction in America for deep structural reasons. Unlike in 2001, after September 11th, when the Iraq War was easily justified through false claims of weapons of mass destruction, today's situation is different. Post-Iraq, American public opinion has become skeptical. It is now widely accepted that Saddam Hussein dismantled his nuclear and chemical programs after the 1991 Gulf War. Today, Israel's war against Iran follows 2 years of devastating conflict in Gaza, during which nearly 500 Palestinians died, according to Palestinian sources, including women and children. Gaza's infrastructure, hospitals, and even United Nations buildings were destroyed. This has shifted Western public perception. Israel is no longer seen as a victim, but as an aggressor. This makes it difficult for Trump to rally public support for another war. A New York Times analysis titled, "A United States Attack on Iran Will Show the Limits of China's Power," highlights how China, despite being Iran's largest oil trade partner, has failed to take a strong diplomatic position. Although China subsidized Iranian oil imports and claimed credit for brokering Saudi-Iran ties, an initiative Iran largely led, its foreign policy remains cautious. When China's foreign minister and ambassador to Iran took positions, they condemned Israel privately, but refrained from public condemnation in official statements. China's commercial interests with the United States, the West, and Israel appear to paralyze its diplomatic assertiveness. Pakistani thinkers tend to romanticize China as wise and strategic, but the truth is, post-Mao Zedong Chinese leadership has become materialistic and mercantile. They lack the resolve to confront imperialist powers like Israel and the West. China could have played a significant diplomatic role, pushing Russia, engaging the European Union, and negotiating a settlement between Iran, Israel, and the United States. Especially given that even the United States Director of National Intelligence confirmed Iran has not pursued nuclear weaponization. Amidst these developments, how does Pakistan fit into Trump's plans? United States Central Command is being led by General Michael Kurilla, a known friend of Pakistan. Information suggests that recent Islamabad activities, including lunch meetings following Trump's interaction with possibly John Bolton or another key figure, signal preparations for possible future involvement. Over the past 48 hours, Islamabad has been plastered with posters praising Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, suggesting something significant might be brewing politically in Pakistan. It may soon be declared that while Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif played a major role, Bilawal is the real leader. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Do not forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.